What's going on, y'all? How y'all doing? I told y'all I'd be back. Child, I feel like I've been giving y'all videos after videos after videos. But, I love y'all, so it don't matter. Anyway, so let's get into this. I just realized that one half of my hair is a little bit shorter than this, and then this long ass break. Like, bitch, come on. Anyway, um, this week, it's been a lot. It's been a lot, but not too much, but enough, okay? However that makes sense, that's what it's been, okay? I'm not even gonna say what I usually say because it's probably gonna end up how it always end up. Y'all know, fill in the blanks. So we start this whole thing off, unfortunately, with a death. Okay, with the death of Pastor, or I should say Bishop Eddie Long, controversial preacher, minister, bishop, whatever you want to call him. Um, he passed away on Sunday. And if you guys have been following up, like a lot of us YouTubers have talked about it or spoken about it, when we first saw Eddie Long come back after being gone, like nobody was making news about him, nobody was speaking on him, but then all of a sudden we see him in this like black workout shirt or whatever and a baseball cap, and he's clearly lost a considerable amount of weight. It was just a lot. It was really a lot. And then he want to say that it was like this new raw vegan diet that he's on. And like I said, when I first found out about it, I was like, I know vegans that's damn near my size that still eat good and healthy. Like, trust and believe. I know vegans and I always be confused about that. I'm like, damn, y'all vegans must be eating good fake food. Like, cause shit, some of y'all be big. And I be like, okay, but gotta work out too. But hey, anyway, um, so I said, nah, you can be vegan and still be healthy looking, and you can still maintain your weight and all that stuff. So something else is not right. And of course, we get the negativity with people trying to say because of his past, or we'll get on that he might have AIDS or HIV. And I just can't stand that stigma. I can't stand that stereotype. I spoke about that with the Kim Burrell thing. No. And for somebody to lose weight, a considerable amount of weight, the way that he has so quickly, then we seen another picture of him, and he looked like he lost even more weight. Like he literally looked skeletal. Okay, and that's when I realized it's a grave disease that he got. It's not HIV. It's not AIDS. It's not a vegan diet. It's not this. It's not that. It has to be cancer, and it must be terminal or something because it was just too much. And kind of find out that is what happened. His daughter did put a post out saying, that he did have an aggressive form of cancer that took him out. Okay, and that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. And I will say this. When I found out Eddie Long died, it did nothing to me. All right, and no, I'm not being negative. I'm not being, anything like that. I did see some of the tweets and some of the posts or whatever where people was just saying, "Well, shit, he fucking gone. Who gives a shit? That's where he needs to go." Okay, blah blah blah. But then you get the other ones who be like, "Well, y'all celebrating death and y'all doing this." I just saw a lot of hypocrisy that was going on because you know Eddie Long is controversial because a few years ago there were at least 4 or 5 young men who came out and said that rape allegations or molestation allegations, and saying that he was basically a child predator. Okay, and he himself is a gay man. He preaches in the pulpit about homosexuality, being against it, having marches against it and all this stuff, but you are behind doors going on trips and grooming young boys to the point that they won't know or feel comfortable or think that this is normal to stay with you and all this shit. I'll get on that in a second because somebody, said some stuff like these grown ass men and they taking dicks, they just gagging all that stuff and they getting paid. And I was like, no, no, no. A person of his stature, he is not gonna go the route of let me just go find somebody that's my age or of age and do some shit like this, and I'm gonna put alleged because I ain't trying to get sued or whatever. But shit and came out saying that it's true and all this shit. But hey, people want to forget that. I'm not here to debate that. But the fact of the matter is, he got these boys when they were young. A couple of them had daddy issues. The father wasn't there, so they were looking at him as father figures. 14, 15 years old, you're still discovering your body. Okay, you're easily able to be influenced and peer pressured and taken advantage of. All right, that is not a grown person. Okay, and just because somebody get older in age or whatever, if it's keep going on and going on, and you giving, hey, I give you this if you do this. Okay, don't tell nobody. I help your mama out if you do this, because some of them were struggling and stuff like that. So you get that brainwashing mentality. That's how sexual predators work. They instill a fear, they instill manipulation and things of that such. But am I gonna say that they could have got out of it at a certain age? They was old enough to say no. Yes, I'm gonna say that they could have, but I'm just putting out the fact that the shit started when they was young. Okay, when they could be easily manipulated. Um. Anyway, that happened, and what a lot of people didn't like about it was the fact that he never got up there and admitted what happened, or he kind of tried to flip it onto the victims, and so that kind of turned a lot of people the wrong way. But then again, you have people in his church and people in the church period, especially when it comes to black folks, it's like they glossed over that and they just let it happen. Okay, and I just found it crazy how, if you have a priest in a Catholic church or whatever, and they come out and it comes out and say that they out here fucking with kids. Oh, it's they gotta this, they gotta go, they can't teach no more, they can't preach, and they can't be all this stuff, even though they cover up their stuff. But you get more backlash when it's a priest that do it. But then when it's this pastor, this black pastor at that, it's like people gloss over it, and oh, you shouldn't say this, and maybe he spoke to God about it and atoned for his sins, and he asked for forgiveness and all this stuff, and we all are humans and we have our faults, and no sin is this and that. Bitch, somebody put on my Facebook status that bisexuality is the same as child peta fucking fouls. Bitch, I must have went the fuck off. I said, I cannot stand when dumb fucks always have to compare fucking. Where the fuck did that come from? Where the fuck did that come from? Where they say if you're gay, that means that you are a child predator. And I mean, in this case, I don't know what the fuck, because you got child predators who are in the household. Daddy's fucking daughters. Okay? Daddy fucking grandkids and shit like that. Grandkids, you got shit like that. And it be same sex or it be different heterosexual. But where the fuck did that come from? That's disgusting. So you're just trying to say, say it's the same thing on a level of disgustingness? Is that what you're trying to say? That shit blows the fuck out of me. Get out of here with that bullshit, okay? But, I'm, like I said, I don't feel a way. I'm not here for child molestation. I'm not here for child rape. I'm not here for rape or anything like that. I don't know the honest to God 100% true. So therefore, I don't have a way feeling about it either way about his death. I didn't care about Eddie Long. I don't know about no goddamn preachers. I don't go to church. Okay, I grew up as a Jehovah's Witness, so them people don't affect me. No shade. Okay, and I'm not trying to offend nobody, but that's just how I grew up. All right. The only preacher that I have somewhere, I would say 95% respectful, was Martin Luther King Jr. And the only reason why I say 95% because the bitch was a hoe. Okay, he cheated all on Coretta. Coretta didn't deserve that. Man, you out here preach, girl, stop it. He's still a great man. But that motherfucker had his flaws too. Y'all know. All right. But to be celebrating death, it's not right. Even though your worst enemy, I just feel like that's some karma that can come back on your ass. But people are entitled to feel the way that they want to feel. And some people feel very strongly about people who touch and abuse people without their consent, and especially if it's a child. Okay, so I understand where that comes from. With that being said, I was about to say something. God damn. Something about the kids. Okay, it's just a lot. It's just like it's gonna come to me later on. What was I saying? Yeah, people was feeling a type of way, and hypocrisy. That's what I was about to get into. But I just found it real odd that you had some people that's on social media, let it come out in the news or something that a regular person is out here, messing with kids and doing this bad stuff or whatever, and it's, man, they need to go to jail, they need to kill them, they need to do this, they need to do that. But then when it comes to a celebrity who does the exact same thing, it's, nah, let's just, we don't know if it's really true. And, God got him. All we can do is pray for him and all that stuff. It's a whole different tone. They're human too. They're flawed individual too. So if you gonna say that about one, a regular Joe, say it about that celeb too. I'm just saying, stand firm in everything that you do, okay? I mean, stand up in that shit. But, I don't feel a way, and people's like, well, you can't do this and you can't say this, and people was, throwing hate at the family. I mean, to be quite honest, the family stood by him when these allegations came out, so that's like they're condoning his actions. I don't care what went on behind doors, you still stayed. You stayed for status reason, if you ask me. You stayed in this marriage you sold your soul for a parking lot and a goddamn hat. Remember when Yana told old girl that when her husband was cheating on her and she knew that the pastor was cheating? Okay, you sold your soul for a parking space and a fucking hat. Bitch, yes. But anyway, condolences all around. I don't feel either way, but you don't celebrate death. You do not do that, okay? You move on. We gonna move on to some happy shit. Hidden Figures. Hidden fucking Figures. Y'all, I seen that shit yesterday. Had to go in the middle of the fucking week because every time I tried to go last week and this past weekend, bitch, I couldn't even get in. I said, ain't this about some shit? Okay, and they was giving out, somebody brought free tickets, brought up the whole tickets out there in Evanston, Illinois for the movie. And you can come in for a limited space, bitch. First come, first serve. You ain't even have to pay because they already brought out all the screeners. I said, ain't this some shit? Come on now. Hidden Figures was number one last week. Well, the week before last week, it beat out Rogue One, this Star Wars movie. It was number one again last week, this past weekend, I should say. I'm sitting here like, I am so happy after looking at the movie. OMG, the movie is so good. I thought people was talking, just putting on and all this shit. Because, some people be extra with it. But the movie is so touching, moving, incredible, informative, educational. Because, bitch, I had no clue all this stuff was going on. And I said, that's the shit that they need to be teaching these kids up in school, okay? They deleting our history. They nitpicking the shit that they want us to hear and want us to know instead of not telling us every goddamn thing. See, that's why, you have to go outside and do your own research. And sometimes when you do this shit with your kids, don't just let them read that shit that's up in the history books that they got to read for school or whatever. Take their ass to the library, print them stuff out, and read up on this and read up on that, because you're going to find a lot of good shit, all right, that they don't talk about. Our history. Baby, Taraji, girl, you paid the same character. Let's be honest, she played the same character, but baby, you did that shit in this one. Oh, that scene when you had to go to the bathroom and he was like, why you always 40 minutes late? Bitch, when you read them, I was like, girl, yes, read the fuck out of them. Okay, come on. And Sheldon Cooper from the Big Bang Theory, he was just pissed off the whole time because you got a woman up in here, and not just a woman, a black woman who's smarter than you, bitch. And for once, you wasn't the smartest person in the room. That's what the fuck it was. That's what it was. Okay, Octavia Spencer did a thing. Janelle Monáe did a thing. Octavia Spencer showed them motherfuckers up. I'm giving away the movie, but if y'all ain't seen it by now, y'all need to go do something about yourselves and go see it. Okay, it was just so inspirational because each person, is Octavia Spencer's character and Janelle Monáe's character and Taraji P. Henson's character. Each of them were making strides, okay, and breaking color lines and boundaries and barriers that were not afforded to African Americans, period, at that time, and especially women. Okay, I'm sitting here like, do that shit, bitches. Okay, y'all do that shit. All right. It was really good. But let me tell you something. When it first started, and the little girl that was playing Taraji character, oh shit, Catherine, excuse me. I said, how old is this little girl? She looked like she like 7 years old. And she was in the 6th grade class already. They finna bump her up to high school or some shit. And in the private school. And they told her, girl, come up here and do this, solve this problem. I said, wait a minute. I'm looking at the math problem like this. No, no. Mm-mm. I'm having flashbacks because, let me tell you something. I'm going to be honest. When we got to like algebra 2 and then geometry, fuck me up. Don't give me that shit. And then calculus, math just really, certain type of math functions just wasn't my forte. And I was just sitting there like, bitch, some of this shit is just coming back. And I was like, yeah, I used to struggle. Like I knew what the fuck I was doing. But bitch, when you're not really confident. I said, girl, that intimidated the hell out of me. And she got up there and just gave the whole thing. I said, come on, girl. Okay. Also, I saw Moonlight. Moonlight was pretty good. I mean, it wasn't as, oh my God, this is so great. It was a different telling of somebody who is actually struggling with their sexuality. Not necessarily struggling, but coming to terms with it, trying to grow into it. And it just gave a different perspective of people, gay people, or, a different side of the struggle. Okay? Instead of it just automatically just being a story about gay people, and then, it's so in your face with all this kissing and all this sex, and it cut down on a whole bunch of stereotypes about gay people. And I love the way that they did it, going from when he was a child to when he was a teen to when he was an adult. And you go through 3 different stages that he went through in his life and the struggles that happened, and had dealing with a parent that was drug addicted. It was a lot. It was a lot, and it was good. I said, oh. And Ramsey asked from If Loving You Was Wrong was in there. I said, hi, Ramsey. Y'all know how I feel about chocolate motherfuckers. Listen. It's a good movie. That's all I'm going to say. It was a good movie. I really liked it. Very nice and well put together. So moving on to some fuck shit. Andrew Caldwell, he got a restraining order against Kim Burrell. As he say, a restrainer order against her. And had them serve her. He gonna do a lawsuit. He is suing her, and had them serve her while she was in church this past weekend. I said, ain't this not a bitch? That's embarrassing. But then again, I'm not surprised. I mean, it wouldn't, just because she said his name. And even if she did say his name, she alluded to him. When you say Mr. Deliver, we know who you're talking about. And so he felt some type of way. And of course, I just don't understand how he's upset at people talking shit about him and all this stuff, but you put yourself out there to be talked about. You're on a public, thing, and you say you're saved, sanctioned, and all this stuff, but then you talking about you out here to get your money. You gonna be a millionaire. You gonna do this. And I'm like, and in one of his videos, he said he loves money, and I thought, you're not supposed to do that. Ain't that in the girl, whatever. Get Andrew, okay? He say he like cat now. Y'all saw that video. The shit had me fucking rolling. But moving on, here's another case where I don't know if he's really that, at this point in time, I don't know if he's really that way, or is he putting on, because like he said, he's signed to a new agent, and they finna get him a TV show and all that stuff. So I'm just like, Y'all know people will sell their souls just to get fame and all that shit. So hey, who it is? NBC is reviving Will and Grace. Oh my God, just Jack. Come on, listen. Jack and Karen was my favorite. Jack and fucking Karen was my favorite on Will and Grace. That episode when it was Karen's wedding, okay, and Jennifer Lopez was there, and when Jennifer Lopez and Jack had their dance off in the bathroom. That is one of my favorites. And when Janet Jackson was on there and he was trying to audition for one of her dances, girl, that shit was funny. I'm looking forward to it. I heard they doing The Office too. I never got into The Office. I might try to look into it. But anyway, moving on from that, the New Edition miniseries starts next Tuesday on the 24th. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Now, I'm putting it out here right now. just about everything that's supposed to be happening at that time, because it comes on my time, Chicago, 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock, and it probably comes on the East Coast time at 9 o'clock to 11 o'clock, and it probably comes on a little bit, I don't know about the West Coast, bitch, whatever, y'all will figure it out. But everything that comes on around that time, and when you get the reviews on Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday, which is fucked up because on Thursday, that's when Scandal comes back, and that's when How to Get Away with Murder come back. So either way, y'all might get the reviews. I mean, y'all gonna get the review. I don't even know. Like, put down in the comments if you really want me to review Scandal. I mean, I reviewed it a somewhat last season, but I'll review it this time if y'all want me to. If I see enough people say they want me to, I'll go ahead and do it. But everything just gonna be pushed back because I'm watching the New Edition movies, part 1, 2, and 3 on time. Because we got a live tweet, we gotta cut it up and all this stuff. And plus, I've been waiting for this. Shout out to Tamika because she is staying like a motherfucker. Bitch got a t-shirt and all that shit. I said, come on, girl, you better stand. If it isn't love, why do I feel this way? Candy girl. Ralph, his voice always irritated me. I said, damn. Even when he got of age, the nigga still sounded like he was going through puberty. Confused me. But yeah, y'all know the schedule now. Okay, so I don't need nobody tweeting me, putting down in comments of other videos, where to review for this, where to review. You gonna get it, but you ain't finna get it at the regular time because this came and just fucked shit up. Let me tell you something now. Y'all been warned. Anyway, moving on from that, Kamaya Mobley. She was a girl that went by the name of Alexis Manigo, and she's 18 years old now, and come to find out she was kidnapped and all that shit by the woman who was raising her, who she knows as her mother. It is so much stuff that is about to come out that I think she's about to do an interview. They saying that people were being paid off. She had a feeling or inclination that she was, kidnapped at one point towards the end, and then she was looking into it or some shit. Somehow she just felt something, but they did find her mother. She was kidnapped from the hospital when she was just 8 hours old. Okay. And when all this stuff happened, it's pretty sad. People were just, shocked at the fact that she was still singing that she loves the woman that raised her and the woman that she called mother and things of that such, and was crying. I think the video where the mother that not killed her, kidnapped her, was in jail or whatever, and she was just crying at the window and things of that such. And I'm sitting here like, why is this such a shock? This is the only person that raised her, and from what I've heard, I haven't heard any negative things that she done to her. Raised her like her own child. So of course she's not gonna 100% right then and there say, I hate you for doing this, from taking all this stuff from me, when she probably was still getting love from this woman. I don't know the full story, but it just reminds me of the Stockholm syndrome. You people gravitate to their abductors. They gravitate to the person that they still try to protect, or they still have feelings of, entitlement or whatever to the person that did the fucked up shit to them. And in this case, it's understandable that she's gonna still feel the way, okay? But I hope I can't really speak much on that, but I know. Put down in the comments if you know if the interview already happened. But I did see something on commercial that it was going to be an interview, like a tell on GMA. Did I miss it? Was it coming on today or did it come on? Damn, y'all tell me what's up, okay? But yeah. So Taxstone, he do the podcast. Taxstone. He was involved in that shooting that happened last May at T.I.'s concert in Irving Plaza. I think it's in New York. That shootout that happened between Troy Ave, the rapper Troy Ave. Remember when Troy fucking around and shot himself in the legs and all that shit? And I think his friend slash bodyguard got killed. And, they said that, Taxstone, he talks a lot of shit. Okay, I've never really been into him. I never heard a podcast from him, but I just do know that he talks a lot of shit. And I guess, hey, stuff happens. All of a sudden, I thought the shit was over with. Because they was trying to get Troy Ave. Child, I finally heard a song of Troy Ave, and I was like, is this shit? Anyway, um, they did all that. They did arrest him. They did release him. Okay, I think they dropped the charges or whatever the fuck, But on Martin Luther King Jr. Day, okay, this past Monday, Textone got arrested. He got arrested, and happy belated birthday to our one and only and forever always First Lady of the United States of my America, Miss Michelle Obama. Okay, happy birthday. All these Capricorns, baby. All these fucking Capricorns of black women that I respect. Come on, Debbie Allen is a Capricorn. Let me tell y'all something. I'm finna go back in the back because, I really don't like talking about, going back and saying, well, I used to do this and remember the time I did it. Nah, because I think that's like bragging or whatever. But one of my fondest memories of Debbie Allen. Debbie Allen was at the Tyler Perry thing that I went to when I was at his house, right? Debbie Allen kept coming over there to our table asking, so, y'all get some of this macaroni. Child, this macaroni good. This is good. Girl, she was eating. She must have had like 15 plates. She was just rolling around that place with food and dancing. It was so fucking funny. But, happy birthday, belated birthday to her. Like, it's just, Issa Rae is a Capricorn. When you like somebody, like you respect them and admire them, and then you find out that you're like, I get it. Then I found out Ray J was a Capricorn, and I was like, the fuck? That threw me off for a minute because I said you don't have Capricornian traits. But all right, maybe it's something that I didn't know about. But moving on from that, what was I talking about? Taxstone. Either way, he got arrested on Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Okay. And they said, he was a felon. And he was for firearm possession. And I guess they had the evidence that he did have a gun. And he did shoot off a gun. And they said that the bullet that killed the guy was from his gun. Or the gun that he owned. Either he shot it or he was the one that owned it. And his DNA evidence, his DNA was all over the gun and all that stuff. So all over it. So, they got him on bail for, they was trying to get a $500,000 bail. But they had to go back to the court to get it appealed because at first they wasn't going to do it to try to get out on bail so he can go on house arrest. And he already a felon or whatever. He got a felony on his record. Like, this going to be murder plus attempted murder and, possession of a fire. This motherfucker about to go to jail for a minute. Okay, so y'all better go. I mean, you do this fuck shit. I can't really feel sorry. You do this fuck shit. This is how you pay for the consequence, and you sloppy with it. So, y'all tell me how y'all feel. I know, Tamika, you a fan of Taxstone, but hey, it is what it is. The last thing that I really want to talk about. Oh, yeah, before I get into that. Bravo. I will say this. You changing Married to Medicine to Friday, it was a little bit fucked up. But you replaced that Sunday spot finally with Sugar Hill First Family of Hip Hop. That is actually a good show, okay? Now, let me tell you something. I was sitting here with my specs, and I said, I looked at the Sugar Hill gang, a hip, my hop, my hip into the hip, okay? I looked at they unsung, and they said one of Sylvia Robinson's sons tried to play and screw the fuck out of Sugar Hill gang, bitch, okay? Took one of the members' name. His name, not his stage name, but the nickname that he fucking grew up with, okay? And then had another group out there and himself going performing underneath this motherfucking group name. I said, that is some shiesty ass shit. But I was about to say he eventually, but he passed away, probably a couple years ago or so. And if you seen Sweet 16 with the boy named Darnell Robinson, he was, he had the Coming to America theme, and I think he had Rihanna or somebody gets his date, Yeah, him. I don't understand what the fuck went wrong from that Sweet 16 to now, but that motherfucker, first of all, I'm pretty sure I'm older than him, but he looks like he's older than me, okay? Motherfucker is going through early stages of balding, okay? And with a face like that and balding hairline like that, the attitude that he has with his living girlfriend, I say this bitch must be a kept hoe because ain't no way in hell I'm going to sit around and let a motherfucker holler at me just because I ask some questions and going to tell me to fucking grow up. You don't call my artist no bitch like that. I was like, well, bitch, you grow the fuck up. If you knew this was going to come at her like this and going to make her feel away, why didn't you tell her that she was coming? Okay? Bitch, that shit irked me. The way that he was just talking to her. So fucking disrespectful. And then he was sitting in that room talking to himself. I said, get away. Run real hard, okay? The other girl, Leah Robinson, she's trying to become a singer. Leland, he's the head of the whole family. He's not really trying to hear what she's singing. He wants more hip hop type of shit. She's more like a poppy type of stuff. I'm like, girl, at this point in time, if he's not trying to hear what you got to say, I know you got an advantage because this is your daddy or your or whoever the fuck, and y'all got this record label. Maybe you need to venture out. That'll be okay. Just go ahead and venture out for a second, okay? Then you got Lady Luck, aka Chanel. Chanel used to be in the game for a minute, okay? She was showing us all her Billboard clippings and shit like that. But Chanel fucked herself up when she stole and decided to rob her own management company. I said, girl, god damn it, bitch. Are you serious? Are you serious? And then, so she's treated like the black sheep of the family. But her and Leela are really close. She's Leah's producer, but they got a little tension because Leela feels as though Chanel's new girlfriend is just taking her time away from her because, it's a 10-year age difference between the cousins, and, they just now really connecting for the past couple of years or so, and it damn near looked like they was having a lovers quarrel for real. But girlfriend is Samaya fucking Reese. I said, since when this bitch been gay? God damn. Okay, you hit the scene on one reality show, be gone for like 5 years, and come back as a dyke. You do what you gotta do. But the show is good. The show is actually good. I feel it. Like Kevin from Scorpion show said I actually liked it better than the Tankers because the Tankers feel fake to me. They feel fake and put on, especially Jewel. But this shit feels really real. But anyway, if y'all liked it, put that down in the comments and let's talk about it. The last thing that I really want to talk about, and I know y'all waiting to talk about, is this shit with Donald fucking Trump. Bitch, he got his own section, okay? First of fucking all, I think it was Saturday where Zoe Zeldanya decided to give her thoughts on Trump. Mind you, she said that she's not a Trump supporter. She didn't vote for Trump, but she feels as though Hollywood has bullied, or Trump has been bullied by Hollywood. My thing is, how? How is Trump being bullied by Hollywood or whoever the fuck? I just want to know. When it comes to this thing called the First Amendment, when it comes to freedom of speech and things of that such, it seems as though it can apply to Trump. He can say whatever he wants to say. He can tweet whatever he wants to tweet. And, his supporters will be like, well, that's his problem. That's his thing. He can do that. First Amendment, first speech, freedom of speech and all that shit. But it doesn't, it's like a one-way street because let somebody, rebut. Okay, give a little rebuttal. All right. Give their opinion, give their thoughts, give their, exercise their First Amendment right, their freedom of speech. It's, oh, you're bullying him, and oh, you so sensitive. Oh, so he not allowed to say what he got to say. Oh, he can say what he want to say, but we gonna say what we got to say too. Okay, we can voice our opinions, and just by voicing your opinion does not mean that you're bullying this man. Okay, what is there to fucking motherfucker? He bullied us. All right, he ran his whole campaign being a big ass fucking bully. So what are you talking about? Oh, because people are coming out and saying things of, that what they dislike and don't like or whatever. They exercising their freedom of speech to, voice their opinions and, whatever about this man. It's bullying. No, it's not fucking bullying. It's life. Okay. They did it when Obama was in office. They're going to do it when he's in office too. So, girl, you shut your mouth up, okay? You shut your mouth up. After you did that fucking Nina Simone shit, bitch, you shut your mouth all the way up. All right? You've been canceled, okay? Moving on from that, Steve Harvey, he met with Donald Trump. And he basically said he got it from Obama because I was inspired by his speech that he gave, and saying that we need to be together, we need to come together as a country and all this stuff and whatever. Okay. He said he went up there, they talked about golf, they talked about their favorite golf course. And then they started to talk about, as he said, the inner city issues. He seems very sincere about, the issues that's going on in the inner cities and working with people and trying to get them this and that. And he got in contact with, he brought in Ben Carson and all this shit. And they both seem sincere about the issues that's facing the inner city. First of all, I'm not going to say that these people are coons, but here's the thing. You fail to realize that this man does not give a goddamn about anybody's inner fucking city. Okay? He don't give a goddamn about any fucking minority, to be quite honest. If it ain't right, it ain't right. Okay? That's how it is in his motherfucking eyes. I'm sorry to put it like that, but that's how it is. Steve Harvey, Kanye West, you guys should know. Jim Brown, bitch. Okay? Since you up here trying to tell Representative John Lewis to stop crying over the fact that Trump won, you shut the fuck up too. Shut the fuck up forever. All right? Because I'm just tired of this shit. Well, we can't voice our opinions, but he can do all this. Okay, if I want to bitch him on about something, I'm going to bitch him on about it. But what you have to realize, you too, Martin Luther King III, you get up there, you meet with him. Are you even on Congress and stuff like that? If you're in the Congress, House of Representative or some shit like that, I can understand you meeting up with him or whatever. But all you guys are a photo op. A photo op. To go and say, when you have that white person that says, I'm not racist, I got at least, I have a black friend. That's what it is, okay? Especially with you, Kanye. That shit was a fucking, he said, yeah, I like Kanye, but you won't let him and didn't invite him to, sing at the inauguration because his music does not fit the traditional American lifestyle. Gotcha. That's the gotcha right there. Gucci, Gucci, gotcha. You guys have photo ops. It's strategic, okay? It's very strategic. It's all planned out. All right? You're just being pawns and stuff. You're being played. You get up there and like Malcolm X said, you get a new white leader and they sit down with all the heads of other black leaders and to make it seem as if they're this good guy, and then the black leader's gonna come back and say, well, he's really good. No, that's not what it is. He put out what he is. Okay? And I understand this. Well, if we want the country to get better, we have to come together and we have to listen and we have to teach and we have to this. But the person has to be willing to listen. All right. And you have to talk to the right people. Talking and taking photo ops with these fucking celebrities, what the fuck that's gonna do? That ain't gonna do nothing but piss the celebrities' fans off, okay? Because they not trying to hit it because they got it made up in their minds already about who they voted for, who they for, and all this bullshit, okay? We've already seen what the backlash been looking like, okay? So I don't understand that. The only people that I feel like at this moment in time, at this very core moment in time, should be meeting with Trump and they're of another race or whatever the fuck, not even anybody, period. And that's people in fucking Congress. That's people's state representatives and shit like that. That's people, our fucking officials, state officials, local officials, all that shit that's dealing with the government, that's dealing with the actual people in these neighborhoods. Those are the people that's supposed to be meeting with Trump. I will be okay with that because that's your fucking job. But you taking photo ops with these random celebrities as if they really have influence over stuff. Okay, you talking to Steve Harvey about inner cities, bitch. Steve Harvey don't live in the inner city, ain't been in the inner city in a long time. Ben Carson, oh, just because he grew up in the projects, he know what it is now. No, the fuck he don't. Okay, fucking like no. If you're gonna talk to somebody who is living in that fucking area right then and there. And how fucking dare you come at John Lewis? How fucking dare you come at him like that and insult this man without Googling who the fuck he is, okay? This man has survived beatings, with the Freedom fucking Riders. That motherfucker got his ass whooped. He forgave the motherfucker that beat his ass. I seen that shit on TV. I said, okay, wouldn't be me, but man, fuck that. He did all this shit, sat there with Martin Luther King Jr., marched with this man, talked to this man, strategized with this man, and you get your ass up here, talking shit to him, saying that he need to worry about his own neighborhoods and why his shit is all fucked up and crime ridden and shit like that. Cause I guess every black neighborhood is like that. You had people that's in his neighborhood that John Lewis represent coming out saying, no baby, our stuff is up and coming. Okay, we like one of the business and women business and all this shit just popping off. I said, y'all better fucking ride for this motherfucker. That's what you do. And then Rob Schneider, you coming out here trying to open up your mouth and try to teach this man who is a civil rights leader who went through the bullshit about how to do some stuff. Bitch, you can't tell nobody about Martin Luther King when you went there. Okay, that motherfucker was there. How you gonna tell somebody who was there how to do stuff? Bitch, shut the fuck up forever. Okay, I'm just sitting here like, but we bullying him. Hollywood bullying him, y'all. Girl, get out of here, okay? Get the fuck out of here. All this photo op shit, bitch. What was the point? What was the point? At this point in time, Trump is like a piranha, and he's like a disease that you do not, an infectious disease that you do not want to, one of those diseases that you just don't want to fuck with because it's going to be fatal. Okay, and when I say that, when it comes to us, when it comes to people and their careers, you're fucking it up. Jennifer Holliday, she said that she was going to sing at the inauguration. I have no problem with nobody singing because I'm not watching. I don't give a shit if you go or not. I'm not watching, but it's just something that I wouldn't do. Okay, sometimes money speak louder than integrity. Okay, and if you really hard up on some cash, hey, that's understandable. Go ahead and do what you got to do. But Jennifer Holliday said, "No, girl, we're gonna take that back. I got the backlash. I understand now that, I shouldn't have did that, and it is what it is." I mean, if she fell to the pressure, take it away, I mean, fine, you do it yourself. That's on you. But then, girl, Miss Chrisette Michelle, yesterday came out saying that she gonna be singing at the inauguration. And we was like, Chrisette fucking Michelle. God damn, bitch, what? That was so random. If you ask me, so fucking random. But, people are upset, of course, and feeling as though, I mean, this girl is the one. She really, she spoke out against the Black Lives Matter movement a little bit. Not necessarily against it, but saying, you should have respect for the cops and all of that, which is true. But in that moment, the shit that she was saying, it was just like, oh, okay, we see your position on this. You just don't get it. But like I said, I don't have a feeling no way of another. I heard it's probably like she's getting like $750,000 to, sing there. They could have just went on ahead and gave her a smooth million. Maybe she, this is something the biggest that sum of money that she's gotten at one time in her career, Trust and believe she won't be seeing that from album sales. I mean, people barely buy your album as it is. They're not going to buy it now. And see, this is what I'm talking about. You have to think about things before you do stuff, especially in this economy in this business where your fans literally control how you get your money. No one is going out buying these albums as it is, and then most ways that a lot of artists make their money from off an album or whatever is going on tour. Now you done pissed off a whole bunch of your fans by going and doing this shit, even though you should be able to do whatever the fuck it is that you want to. But hey, it's also a double-edged sword, like I said, because this can be career suicide. This man is tainted, and so therefore now you tainted, and people canceling you because it's almost as if you're trying to say that, hey, fuck it, money trumps whatever else is going on and what this man stands for. I don't give a shit. Okay. And, she finally put out a little statement trying to say, this world is going through a lot and I'm trying to represent us up here. You're not representing us because us don't give a shit about this. I'm just saying. Just say you wanted the money, girl. I would respect that a little bit more. And also, my whole issue, it's not even the fact that she's going up there to sing, because hell, I was a little confused when Jennifer Holliday did it, but shit, I wasn't gonna watch it, so I don't give a care. But my thing was, why was you trying to keep it secret? You was gonna have backlash. You was gonna have backlash regardless, okay? You might as well just came on out and say, okay, what? Fuck it. I'm doing it and what? What y'all gotta say? Okay, I'm canceled. Okay, bitch, y'all wanna ban my shit? No way. So, whatever. It is what it is. But girl, they are tearing that ass up on fucking Twitter, okay? But me personally, and people asking like, if you was offered this amount of money, you mean tell me you wouldn't go up there and you wouldn't do this? I would ask, is there something else that I can do? If I'm really hard up, because I'm a regular person, so of course a regular person probably would have went on ahead and took it, because I got student loans to pay or whatever. But at the same time, I'd be like, no, because this man is totally against everything that I stand for. Okay, that's what it is. I just can't compromise myself, because I wouldn't feel right taking. It's like taking blood money, if you ask me, bitch. No. What else? And then Lil Mo trying to come out and saying some stuff, and reading about what her response is. She's like, she's good with what she's doing and all this stuff. And I'm like, Lil Mo, I don't give a fuck about your response, bitch. I stopped giving a fuck about you when I found out you let yourself get played by Ja Rule and them, and then get paid for them songs that you them hit songs that you sang the hook on. Like, girl, come on, go take care of all your kids. I'm surprised you still married. But I mean, you trying to be a friend, but I just don't want to hear you right now. Anyway, I know y'all got a lot to say about that, because y'all was going in. But would you, if you was offered a large sum of money, and I'm talking about regular everyday folks, would you go ahead and go do the thing? I mean, I wouldn't judge no matter what. I side eye you, but shit, I wouldn't curse you out and all that stuff. You do what you gotta do. But y'all tell me how y'all feel. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all. Well, I'll see y'all tomorrow. But still, for those that don't watch Married to Medicine, y'all enjoy the rest of your weekend. Okay, and have a good one. Be safe out there. Keep warm. And I'll see y'all later. Peace.